Warning, this could get much, much worse. Bitcoin is preparing for a large move. There's a lot of factors happening right now simultaneously in the chart to suggest that another major move to the downside is unfortunately coming. We're going to cover the facts in the charts, and we're going to look at the honest opinion. Is Bitcoin going to have a mega crash? And what is the possibility that we come out of this? When you look left in the charts, there's a lot of history and a lot of evidence to suggest a move to the downside, and a heavy move to the downside is coming. But what are the honest chances that Bitcoin could erase all of our past history and do the opposite and rally out of this and get to new all-time highs? Is it legit a 0% chance, or is there an honest chance Bitcoin can do that? As well as all of that, I'm going to give my honest price prediction inside of this video, knowing all of the facts in the charts. So let's jump into it. My name is Steve. Hit that subscribe button. Right now, you can go to our website, cryptocrewuniversity.com. We've got the best courses in the game that have changed all sorts of lives. If you're interested to take this industry seriously and strive towards financial freedom, you can check out our website, cryptocrewuniversity.com. But now, I want to start with this chart, because what I've seen in the marketplace is a lot of people are fairly excited that we're in this kind of rising channel, right? Where we've had our highs here, we've had higher highs, and we've had our lows, and we've had higher lows. And it's an upward slanting channel. What you often find is a lot of people get excited about this, but generally speaking, these upward channels, just based on the percentages, they break more heavily to the downside than upside. These are just the facts. I want you to know the facts. You come to this channel for the facts. That's why you hit the subscribe button. But to be blatantly honest, the majority of these break to the downside. What I want you to look for in the charts is when you have a large move to the upside, like we had here, and a downward facing channel. A lot of people will get this misconstrued to say, hey, this downward facing channel is really bad. No, this is a bull flag, and the majority of these break to the upside. Look no further than right here, right? We had this large move from about 3,000 and just destroyed it up to 14,000. And then we created this little bull flag here, right? Where we had this downward facing channel where price bounced in between here. And then we broke pretty heavily to the upside. All right. So this is what I want you to look at. I want you to have concern about what we're seeing here. Okay, not excitement. A lot of people will get misconstrued that these channels break to the upside. They heavily break to the downside the majority of the time. Now, let's get to the 3-day death cross, because in our videos, we had a call back here when we were at this red line, and we said, look, it's likely we're going to rally all the way to this green line, right? Why? Because we look left and we look at the facts in the chart. So roll the clip when we were back here and we called for us to rally up to this green line. Roll it. We kept saying time and time again, do not be surprised if Bitcoin rallies to this green line, which would put us roughly at about 46,000. So we've been saying that for about a month. So you saw in the video, right? We were down here in prices. We were not going to be surprised with a rally up here. We were not going to get overly excited. We were going to stay level-headed. We know that emotion is a money killer. We were going to keep our emotion in check, knowing that we rallied up here, because we knew once we rallied up here, everyone would get super excited. They would be calling for higher numbers. But our channel actually called for us to crash all the way back down here in our recent video. And now we are here. So what do we do now? What should we expect now? Because there's one interesting thing here that's playing out, is we have yet to break this red line. So a lot of people will get excited. They'll say, hey, look, check this out. Since January, we haven't broken this red line. Yeah, we've wicked down, okay, but they were bought up, right? They were bought up and we closed above. That is a good point. It's a valid point. But when we look left, we can start to uncover a couple more facts that are not so pretty, right? And the facts are, anytime that we're in a rally, let's say from down here in prices, and we rally up to this point, anytime we're in a rally and we come back down to touch this red line, we always crash through it, okay? Same thing happened here. Big, huge rally, came down to touch this red line, crashed through. And we'll look back to 2014, huge rally, came down to touch this red line, and then crashed through. So history tells us it's not quite on our side. But a part of this video is going to be about, okay, maybe history isn't on our side. Maybe there's a lot of charts that are going against Bitcoin that are calling for it to crash. But what are the chances? What's a legit possibility that we can rally out of this? That we can do the opposite of our whole history and suddenly rally to new all-time highs? Is it a legit 0% chance? Do we have a 5% chance? Or is it like a 40% chance? And that's what I want to talk about on this video. But I just want to make it clear, the 3-day death cross is serious, all right? It's projected to happen here in May. And if you watch our channel, which you basically just subscribed if you're new, but 4 years ago in 2018, it's the same thing that was happening. We called for a 3-day death cross. Nobody else was talking about a 3-day death cross. Everyone was talking about higher prices. Nobody thought we would ever go below 6K. Not only did we say the 3-day death cross is coming, we said it's a high probability we're going to break 6K, and it's a high probability we'll fall all the way down to the 200-week moving average, which we were off by a couple $100, but we fell down to the 200-week moving average. But again, we're in this same situation, right? Where we're bouncing between the red and the green line, bouncing in between here. Don't be surprised if we rally back up to the green line and fall back to the red once or twice more before plummeting through the red, okay? But again, it's not the pretty thing. It's not what you want to hear. I know that more people will watch our videos if we just continuously call for the moon, but I would rather actually help you. I would rather actually save you money. I would rather actually wake you up so you can see the charts and see the facts in the charts and make better decisions, not emotional decisions. So for me, that's more important. I actually want to help you. All right. So just be patient. All right. And don't make over emotional decisions. This thing could get much, much worse. All right. So now we're going to go back to this chart. All right. So we made this chart and we made this video where it was the first time in 11 years that Bitcoin did this. Let's take a deeper look, because we were resistance, and we broke above this orange line. All right. For the first time in 11 years. At the point of making this video, nobody knew on earth if we were going to go up or down. But percentage-wise, what's the probability? There was a higher probability that we're going to break to the downside. That's why we compared it to 11 years ago when we had a bunch of resistance. We finally broke above, but we broke above just momentarily and then we crashed back down below. So what have we done since that video? We crashed back down below, right? That's why the orange line is so significant each and every time that we play with it, all right? Which is why we made a whole video about this orange line, and you can see where prices are now. They're down here, way below the orange line. So now as we continue on, we're on the monthly chart, all right? And on the monthly chart, we have the MACD cross. There's only been a few others in history, 3 total. In Bitcoin's 12-year history, we've only had 3 other MACD crosses on the monthly. That's it. All of them acted the same exact way, and we were prepared for it, which is why if you're new, you've just subscribed because you've missed out on information like this and you don't want to miss out in the future. We had this cross. We talked about having this cross. After this cross, we talked about having a large rally. Why? When you look left, the last time we had this cross, we had a 65% rally and then a mega crash. The time before that, we had a 50% rally right after the cross and then a mega crash. So on our channel here, back in January, we were like, hey, be prepared for a large rally and then be prepared for a mega crash. So we had a 40% rally. Is it 40% or was it a little bit higher? 44%. So we had a 44% rally, and now we're in the midst of this crash, and everyone's wondering, hey, how is this happening? What were the warning signs? The warning signs were right here on this channel back in January when we had this crash, and we prepared for a rally, and then we set the stage for a crash that would surprise everybody, and now we're in the middle of it. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more information like this. On this channel, we cover the bigger moves. Not these little day-to-day, these little teeny tiny moves. Those don't make you the money you're trying to make. The big moves are where you're going to lose all of your money or make all of your money. The bigger moves, all right? These kind of moves from this number up to this number. These kind of moves from up here, a crash down to here. This is where you're either going to lose all your money or make all your money. And that's what our channel focuses on, right? So this MACD cross on the monthly, this is nothing to play with. A lot of these signs are starting to form together, right? The break below the orange line, the 3-day death cross, this MACD cross. Well, here's another one. On the monthly chart, this is a stochastic RSI, all right? There's only been 2 others of these. In 12 years, there's only been 2 others, and all of them acted the same way. They both acted the same exact way, right? Where right after this cross down on the 20, we had a pretty big rally, 48% rally, and then a mega crash. Back here in 2014, we had this cross down, we had a 50% rally, and then a mega crash. The cool thing is these happen precisely every 4 years, right? 2014, fast forward 4 years, 2018, fast forward 4 years, 2022. We're right on schedule, all right? So we can say, hey, it's because of this, hey, it's because of the COVID, hey, it's because of this or the war. It could be all these different factors, but the facts are in the charts. Men lie, women lie, the charts don't lie. So we've got to pay attention. Breakdown below here is serious. It's serious. It's only happened 2 other times. And the other 2 times, it took several hundred days to recover from that mess before we broke back above here, causing the next magnificent bull run, right? This was the point of the next bull run. This was the point of the next bull run. That cross right here where prices just exploded. We're looking for that. We're not close to it yet. We'll remain level-headed. Now, let's get to some price predictions, right? Let's get to what we think is going to happen. What's the possibility? What's the percentages? Let's break it down for you. But this is the Gaussian channel. And like the other charts we showed you, we started having some pretty big warning signs back here in May of last year when we entered our quicksand. And for those of you who have watched our channel for a long time, you remember it well because you did not want to believe that we would ever be stuck in quicksand for a long time. We looked at the facts and the charts and we said, hey, anytime we enter quicksand, which is entering the Gaussian channel, on average, we're inside of this Gaussian channel, trapped in quicksand for an average of 1 year. Nobody wanted to believe it. Go back, look at the comments. They all said, Steve, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy. Okay, we've been covering Bitcoin since 2017. I started trading in stock market when I was 16 years old. That was like 100 years ago, okay? I've made all the mistakes. What I'm trying to do now is help you not make all the ridiculous mistakes I have. I've lived through a lot. I've invested through a lot of these crashes. I know them a little bit better than the average person, and I'm just trying to help you with my knowledge. That's it. All right. So to our surprise, right, we've been inside of this Gaussian channel now for almost a year. So we're here. This has become reality now. Back here, you didn't want to believe me. Now you're like, okay, he was onto something almost a year ago. Now there's something else happening in this Gaussian channel that's a little bit more of a concern, and it's kind of good for us in the fact that we'll know precisely when all of this chaos and drama is over. We'll know, we have a cheat code for when the next bull run will start. So let's break it down. We've been below this median line now for a little while, and we've gotten resistance from this median line for a little while, but we just flipped to red, all right? Now, the Gaussian channel, when it flips to red, it doesn't mean, hey, now we're going to start dropping in prices. No, it has a different meaning. It's not one that you would expect. But the flip to red, while getting rejected by this median line, is significant. And we've done this a few times, right? Back here in 2018, we got resistance from this median line while flipping to red, and that ended horrifically, right? And if you go back to even 2014, we flipped to red while getting resistance from this median line. It's just not something you want to partake in, right? Same thing in 2011. We got resistance from this median line while flipping to red. It's not something you want to play with. And again, the facts are in the charts. Look left, but this is telling us that we were going to crash down to this lower level at a minimum. And that's what we've done. So now we're here, and in our past video we said, hey, our past video, I think we were up here, and now we've crashed down to this lower level, which, by the way, I don't want you to miss this information anymore. So if you're new to our channel, subscribe right now. You don't want to keep missing information like this that could help you with your portfolio. Subscribe. So now that we've fallen down to this level, what's next? What's next is we're going to put a ton of pressure on this lower level, and we're eventually going to break it. It's not a certainty. There's just a higher probability we're going to break down from here and not break above here. All right, we'll talk about the probabilities in a little bit, but there's just a much higher probability to the downside. Now, to the downside, what's good is when we break down, we're going to enter into the golden zone. All right, we gave a major buy alert here when Bitcoin was at about 33K, and we gave another major buy alert here when Bitcoin was at about 34K. So we rallied from 33 all the way up to 47, and we rallied from here all the way up to 48. So those are pretty big gains. Again, you don't want to miss these kind of gains. So this is what we're looking at now. Once we enter the golden zone, historically, it's an incredible time to buy. And again, this is not financial advice, but it's just the facts. Anytime we enter this golden zone, which is any price action below the Gaussian channel, it's incredible. All right. So these are the opportunities you can't miss. So what happens next? More than likely, over the coming weeks, we're going to re-enter the golden zone. But here's the key. 30K is going to be the main level. If we break 30K, and we've been saying this for months, if we break 30K, the facts in the charts are that we're going to fall all the way down to 14K, like 13 something. And again, people will say, oh, it's never possible. It's never done that. I'm just reading the charts like a book. That's what the book is saying. All right. So hate it or love it. Those are the facts. But that's if we break 30K. 30K is that main level that we've got a lot of support. We've got a lot of market structure there, and we could very well hold. Now, what are the chances we could actually break above here and have a new all-time high? It's minimal, but it's not zero. All right. So with charts, nothing is either 100% or 0%. But what Bitcoin would have to do is hold this level as support, and then we would have a pretty good sign that good things are to come. But the next major thing is at this like 53, 54K area. If we were to hold that as support, then the story flips, and we would have a higher probability of a new all-time high if we were to hold that 53K level, because there's just a ton of market structure there, and that's that major level of like, if we held that as support, then the story would flip. But it's a low probability that would happen. There's a higher probability of the downside. All right. So looking at this story, it could get much worse, but I want you to remain level-headed. All right. Don't get over emotional with your trades. Stick to a strategy. If you don't have a strategy, which is probably likely, you probably don't have a strategy, and you probably haven't realized it because your ego is getting in the way. Your ego keeps telling you you know what you're doing, but just look at the results of your portfolio. Those are the facts. And there's probably a high chance you keep losing. All right. Your ego is telling you can do it. The next trade's going to be good. You can do it. You can do it. No, look at the facts. It's just like the facts in the charts. And if you need a strategy, you come to our courses. There's nobody has courses even remotely close to what we have. We've minted a lot of millionaires with our courses because it's a no BS, straight to the point, get an incredible strategy and start to change your life. So if you want that, cryptocrewuniversity.com. I'll see you right back here in the next video. There's only one question left: when to sell your cryptocurrency. Click right here, right now, to find the 3 simple steps.